The National Waterfront Museum is a branch of Amgueddfa Cymru, National Museum of Wales, and its role is to give an overview of Welsh industrial history. That said, the approach it takes could be classified as a human history approach. And really, it tells the story of industry and innovation from a community and individual perspective. So it's more a museum of industrialization than of industry in its technical sense. The building was designed by Chris Wilkinson, RA, of Wilkinson Air Associates, and we opened to the public in October 2005. A 1902 dockside warehouse which serviced the north side of the South Dock in Swansea, which is now the marina, and a new built structure, which is perhaps the most sort of obvious piece of Chris Wilkinson's work, which we call New Gallery and the main hall. The main hall links the New Gallery to the pre-existing warehouse building, which is now the Warehouse Gallery. Chris's main contribution to the overarching plan was to see the building as a link between the city and Swansea Bay. And so the main hall and its connecting staircase into the Warehouse Gallery is aligned on a direct route from Castle Square through the building and out to a statue of Henry Vivian on the other side of the marina. Those are the two nodal points. And everything else new build is aligned around that axis. We have 15 subject areas or zones that look at different aspects of Welsh industrialisation: the sea, communities, money, etc. And then within that, there's representative examples of artefacts supported by interactive, computer-driven interpretation. The person who originally oversaw the design and concept of the museum always said that they were trying to design a museum for people who didn't do museums. It's providing an important resource, not just for fun and games for the kids and the family, but for what is ultimately a post-industrial community in an area that was one of the leading areas within the UK for industrial innovation as well as size and quantity of industry. And the young families that are coming in are probably 2 generations away from working in heavy industry. So if we can just lift the curtain a little bit, then that's really the core objective of the museum. In designing the new gallery wing of the museum, Chris was asked to ensure that the south-facing elevation had a barrier against the solar gain. So, as a result, you have this fascinating contrast between the north elevation, which is all glass, and the south elevation, which has this really astounding and quite abstract wall of 3 different types of Welsh slate. One of the brilliant aspects of this is that those bands of slate of different heights then has an aluminium rail basically between them and makes it much more monumental and engaging. The thing that really attracted me when I got inside here for the first time is this concept of inside-outsideness. There must be a better phrase for it. And so you get this situation where you're not sure whether or not you're outside or inside because there's so much glass around. On the south wall of the new gallery, you have the slate wall penetrating the building. So again, from the joining area, which again is all glazed, you can see the grey slate wall, but then suddenly you come face to face with its reality. So in what is actually quite a hard, modern building, you get this warmth. It's not maybe visual, but it's a tactile warmth coming into the building, and that's really exciting. The space between the new gallery and the warehouse gallery had always been an area designed for activities. We decided to create a community vegetable garden, but one that was actually created and then worked by community volunteers from organisations dealing with a variety of social issues. So there was, again, a very interesting opportunity to do outreach work in that phrase, but actually bring it into the museum in a very interesting way. And there's a lot of learning that goes on about what plants that we now take for granted actually are the result of the British Empire and that very interesting global interrelationship of power, trade, and communication. So there's a vast amount of tangential learning that comes from what is actually a series of raised beds full of very nice vegetables.